You're listening to That Teacher podcast, hosted by me, Alyssa McDonald. I'm that teacher who decided enough was enough and started an online business to fund my own 2-year maternity leave from my teaching job. This journey has been life-changing, bringing me opportunities to lead and grow in ways I never thought possible. Now, I'm on a mission to help other educators, moms, and impact-focused entrepreneurs find ways to build the online business of their dreams so they can have the time freedom and financial freedom they deserve. So grab a cup of coffee and let's bring your wildest dreams to life. To give you a little peek inside my business this week, I am working on dialing in my evergreen funnels. It's something I teach all of my Teacher Hustle University students to do, but it's something I have kind of put on the back burner for a long time. I figured I have a funnel in place, so it's at least doing something, but it's been a long time since I've gone in and optimized and improved them. So I've got, I've got an evergreen funnel for Teacher Hustle University, and I've got an evergreen funnel for Course Creators Intensive. For THU, I've always had a webinar at the start of that evergreen funnel, and I have a pretty good email sequence in place. So I decided to wait on that one, but I will re-record that webinar at some point and get that going. Course Creators Intensive, I had previously done, I think it was called Map Your Course Challenge, and it was a secret podcast launch. And I did that one a long time ago, and I didn't love that launch or the results of that launch. And so I did have that on Evergreen, but I didn't promote it very much because I wasn't that confident in it. So I decided to go back and actually turn this Evergreen funnel into a webinar funnel as well. Now, I normally wouldn't recommend that. I normally wouldn't recommend trying out a new launch event in a funnel. I would normally recommend you go ahead and live launch it with that event in place first and make sure it works. However, every webinar I've ever done for any offer has been my best converting launch event. It doesn't matter. Like, I've tried a million other ways. Webinars are always a winner for me. So, and I just really like doing them. I like teaching and providing value. I like how kind of quick they can be. So I re-recorded a webinar for Course Creators Intensive. The way this funnel will be built out is you'll go in and you'll register for the webinar. It's called the 5-figure launch method. People will register for the webinar. They'll be able to instantly access the webinar. As soon as they begin to watch the webinar, it'll unlock a link for them to go ahead and view the Course Creators Intensive sales page. And then from there, I'll follow up with an email sequence. I re-recorded the webinar tonight, and I was about to go record a podcast, and I thought, well, why don't I just play the webinar for you? Because I just finished it up. And if you're thinking about launching a course, it's a really good webinar as far as like teaching you about course launching or relaunching your course if that's the case. But also you can listen to it with the lens of this is how a webinar sounds. And it follows the typical webinar format. It's a little more salesy than I typically like to do. I for THU deliver a much more high value workshop with less of a pitch. But I did feel like this one, I wanted to try doing like your standard webinar format. And I also wanted to try to keep it around 40 minutes or so, which I believe that I did. I will tack that on here so you can give it a listen. Let me know how it goes. And hopefully I'll see some of you inside Course Creators Intensive if you're not already there after you listen to this webinar. Enjoy. Hello, welcome to the 5-figure launch method masterclass. I'm excited to be here today to teach you how to build a course or a membership or any other knowledge product and set up an irresistible offer that will make you 5 figures every time you launch. Yes, I'm going to be sharing the exact method in this masterclass. So grab your notebook. Let's get started. I first want to tell you that creating and selling an online course or membership actually does have the potential to bring in 5 figures each launch, and it's easier than you might think. In fact, one student who was in my Course Creators Intensive program replaced her teaching salary, she's a teacher, in one launch with a course priced under $200 using a unique learning experience plus a really strategic launch method. So it can be done. And selling a unique learning experience that actually works to get your people the results they're looking for is really the key, I think, to making the money you want to make in your online business. I'm going to talk more about how courses have changed over the years. We saw a big boom of courses in 2020. And since then, and since people have had some not so great experiences with courses, we've had to shift our thinking about learning experiences. So I want to talk about that a bit as well today. Where do I come from with this? Well, I've been selling online courses, memberships, workshops, you name it, all sorts of knowledge products since about 2019. I pulled my course revenue from 2022, not to be showy about numbers. In fact, I really hate showing my numbers because I don't want to seem like a show off or whatever. But 2022 was a great year for me with course sales. Since then, I have not been focused so much on selling my courses. If you know me, you know I spent the last 2 years building a technology product. So I've been a little bit off the map, but this shows you that it's entirely possible. This is a screenshot straight from my Kajabi dashboard. And if you're listening, the sales are looking in the hundreds of thousands, around $700 in sales rolling in on average per day. And this is all from knowledge products. But I know you have maybe had a not so great launch with a course before, or maybe you've purchased a course and it was kind of junk and it really didn't teach you anything, or you joined a membership and it was all fluff and you really didn't get any value out of it. So I really am passionate about teaching you how to create an online learning experience that actually gets your people results, because online course success won't last long if you're not getting people results. People will quickly catch on and tell one another if your learning experience is not good. If you haven't figured out the key to launching, your course success will not last long. You might have a good launch or two where you're selling to your warm audience, but if you don't have a strategy going forward, you're going to stall out. You also may not be successful with your course launch if you haven't gotten the price just right, and or if you haven't adjusted the price for the market. So the price you could get for your course in 2020 is not the same price you can get for your course today. That has changed. It will always change and fluctuate with the market. So understanding that, getting that price right, structuring and restructuring your offers is the key to getting back to those 5-figure launches if it's been a while for you. Just because you've had a bad experience, though, with a course doesn't mean all knowledge products are bad or that you can't have a successful launch with a course. It just means we really need to be focused on getting people real results and showcasing those results, getting the price right, and getting those launch strategies underway. So in this masterclass, I'm going to show you a completely different way to create and launch a knowledge product that actually works to get your people the results, the solution they're looking for, and feels really good as a business owner because you're getting that great feedback. It's easier to launch something when you feel really good and confident about its results. Now, I'm more passionate than I have ever been about teaching others how to do this because I was able to create a more flexible life for myself. I was a teacher and I was able to stay home on maternity leave for 2 years before ultimately leaving teaching, thanks to my business selling knowledge products. And I want that for you too. Whatever the flexible life is that you're dreaming of, I want that for you too. And it can be done all by sharing our skills and expertise with other people. And I know that I talked about it feeling sort of icky to talk about money, but I think it's important to remember that money is a vehicle for giving you that flexibility, for giving you more time with your family, for giving back to your community. So I want to show you how to make more of it. If we haven't met before, I'm Alyssa. I am a minivan driving mom of 3, a former educator, Enneagram 5, which means I'm curious, I'm a learner, I'm an investigator, I will find answers. I love reality TV, I love French fries, and I'm also a business and marketing strategist for educators and other impact-focused entrepreneurs like moms and anybody who is equally as focused on making an impact on their people as they are on making that income. I care about helping you help your people in a true, meaningful, feel good sort of a way. And so that's kind of the foundation of everything I'll talk about today. And I do know a thing or two about launching. In fact, I've been behind hundreds of launches, and I've launched my own product. I don't know how many times now. Since 2019, over 800 students have bought my paid programs, like my Course Creators Intensive, where I teach you how to create and launch your course, or my email marketing course, or my Teach Your Hustle University course for educators, or any of my other knowledge products. I've been behind the scenes, the whisper in the ear, behind 5 and 6 figure launches for hundreds of entrepreneurs. You can see a few on the screen here. There are some amazing testimonials of people who really felt like they got a true sense of how to launch this thing through our work together. So now let's talk about you. Is the 5 figure launch method right for you? Are knowledge products right for you if you have not launched one yet? Well, you may be somebody who already has tried launching a course, but maybe it didn't go as planned, or like you're ready for a massive refresh. Then the 5 figure launch method is perfect for you to kind of like give yourself a fresh start. Or if you have an idea for a course, but you've never launched it before, this is great. I wish I would have had this. I wish all my clients would have had this out of the gate, right? Like this is the system you need to kick things off so you're in the right place. I want you to know too, because you're impact focused, if you're here, you care about impact, you can still make money in an impact focused business. Making money with a knowledge product is not just for people who sell to other business owners. It's not just for marketers or people who are teaching you how to make money online. It can work for you in an impact focused industry. Most entrepreneurs I work with are selling to schools and teachers or therapists or parents. It can still work for you in an impact focused industry. So I'm going to give you really 3 trainings within today's class. The first one is how to build your minimum lovable offer and why it's important to think through this before you do anything else. Training number 2, how to price it right and how to structure your offer. And mini training number 3, how to start making sales like ASAP without creating anything. And it's actually so much more simple than you may think. Sometimes we tend to overcomplicate things. I'm also in that boat, so I'm right there with you. And at the end, I'm going to give you an exclusive opportunity to join my 8-week Course Creators Intensive, where we take your course or membership or workshop or whatever knowledge product idea to launch in 8 weeks so that you can start making money quickly, experiment, iterate, change this thing, launch it again, make more money. This getting your course out quickly is the key to that 5 figure launch, because every time we launch, we're going to iterate, experiment, change, improve, do it again. And that is the key here. Let's jump into this first training, your minimum lovable offer. What in the world does this mean? Can't I just create a course and then put a price on it that I think people will pay? Can't I just record this thing and then sell it? In theory, yes, you could, and some entrepreneurs do that, but it is a giant guess. It's a very risky bet. I have seen course creators put hours and hours and hours into planning, recording, professionally recording, organizing these giant signature courses. Then they go to launch and they make 0 sales. They have a flop of a launch. They have crickets. And they wonder why. And the reason is because they didn't figure out the right price, the right offer, and the right launch strategy. Those 3 things are key to these 5 figure launches. And to do that, we have to start with something I call your minimum lovable offer. We can call it MLO for short. How do we get to that MLO? Well, first we need to figure out what is our magic number. What is the amount of money that we want to make in each launch to hit our financial goals? That's totally up to you. I'm not even going to throw a number out there. Dream as big as you want, or keep it as small as you want. Whatever works for you as your magic number of what you would want to make each launch. I hope it's 5 figures. And the second step is to figure out the quickest way you can provide a result to your people for the problem you want to tackle. Because remember that your audience does not care about how much content you provide them, how many videos, how many workbooks, how many coaching calls. What they care about is how quickly can I solve the problem that I have. We think about weight loss, right? People won't pay more money for a longer journey with a weight loss coach, like a year of weight loss coaching. They will pay more money for something that's going to help them lose weight in a month because it gets them the result quicker. Step 3, we're going to sell it. We're not going to record anything. We're not going to create a workbook. We're not going to make a sales page. We're not even going to think that much about launch strategy. We're just going to launch something, the minimum lovable thing, something that people who already love you and trust you and know you will like and will pay for. We're just going to sell it. We're just going to run it. And that is going to be the first step to figuring out your 5-figure launch formula. There are these 3 major areas that we have to fully understand and dial in before we can predict that we will make 5 figures every time we launch. We need to experiment with and dial in pricing. We need to experiment with and dial in the learning experience. We need to experiment and dial in on launch strategy. Those are the 3 key areas that we need to fully understand. And the only way to do that is to experiment. And the only way to experiment is to get a minimum something out to your audience, sell it, run it, get some results, change, iterate. When you use this method, you're getting something out to your audience now, which gives you the room to experiment until these things are just right. You're not limited to having a giant course to make money. You can get feedback before you pre-record any course videos so that you're assuring that you're actually creating the right solution for your people. And you can make money right away, which is so great because you can build momentum and it gives you the funds to invest in things like getting education around how to create and launch a knowledge product, investing in tools, in trainings, in ads, whatever. But it's going to give you some money under your belt and some validation to know that you're on the right track. And then it helps your people get results really quickly too. So creating a minimum lovable offer is about just putting an offer out there and teaching it probably live rather than pre-recording anything so that you can get a lot of feedback. And I'm going to dig into this a little bit as we keep going in the training. What it means is you do not have to create a massive signature course to scale your revenue. Instead, you're going to listen to your audience, choose a problem you can solve quickly, sell them an offer where you can solve that problem quickly, and then build on those offers as they need them rather than trying to sell this giant, massive piece of content. People don't need more content. We have YouTube, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have all of the places with all of the content. We need the clear roadmap to the solution. People who don't use the strategy of minimum lovable offer are spending hours recording a course that potentially no one will buy. They're making giant guesses on things like price, which is very risky. And then they get really easily frustrated because their course sales are not good. And sometimes they give up and they stop selling their course and they never make a course or a knowledge product again. Let's jump into pricing. Mini training number 2, 3 secrets to pricing. Well, I keep saying this word offer. What is an offer? An offer is really the price plus the value being how much someone will pay to get that result. Price is a number. So I always use this analogy. I don't know where it came from, but let's say I wanted to sell you a mug and I told you that that mug was $200. You would say, no way, I'm not paying $200 for a mug. That's price. I did not tell you the value of the mug. Maybe the mug is lined in gold and it's signed by Britney Spears herself. Right now, I've given you the price and the value. That together is the offer. The deliverables are kind of part of that perceived value, that mug with the gold lined inside and the signature from Britney Spears on the bottom. It helps to understand the value. When you put those things together, that's what we're talking about when we talk about offer. So the thing we need to do when we're starting to think about our price, we have to consider the actual number, the price, and the value. What value will we deliver? So, sorry, just bumped my microphone. Let's talk first about just that price number, just the number. And to do that, we're going to reverse engineer from our own goals, not from the question, this is where everybody always starts, what will my people pay for this thing? That's a terrible place to start. Picking a price out of thin air is not a great pricing strategy. Instead, decide how much money would make you feel on top of the world if you made that amount of money each time you launched. And then choose your preference. Do you want to try to sell a lot of that thing, high volume and lower price? Or do you want to sell just a few of those things at a higher price, high ticket, lower volume? For example, let's say you want to make $20,000 each time you launch. You're going to launch 4 times a year. That's going to be the bulk of your revenue in your business. And you want to sell high volume, meaning you want to get in front of a lot of people, or you know you can get in front of a lot of people. I'm going to then experiment with a $297 price point and aim to sell 67 spots every time I launch. That if that feels doable for you, that would be one way to reverse engineer that price. Another way would be the high ticket, low volume. Let's say you want to make that same $20,000 for your launch, but you want to sell to less people. Maybe you're not like somebody who loves to be on platforms where you're getting a lot of reach, like Instagram. You're not trying to be an Instagram influencer, but you have a small, really engaged audience who's willing to pay you the big bucks for the results. Maybe you are going to experiment with an $897 price point and aim to sell just 22 spots each time you launch. Either way, we've arrived at the price, that number, by reverse engineering our goals, so we can almost map out exactly how this launch will go as long as we understand these numbers. You can literally predict your income by looking at the size of your email list. This is kind of a hot tip. So if you have 3,000 people on your email list, you would need to convert around 2% of them to hit that high volume goal. Remember that 297 goal. And I think we said we were going to sell 62 spots. So if I have a 3,000 person email list, I should be good to go there. I should definitely be able to hit that goal. If I have a smaller list, I'm going to need to convert more of them. If I have a higher list, sometimes it can be harder to convert with a larger list. So I'm going to need to make sure my list is really engaged. What's going on with your email list will directly reflect what will happen with your launch. So we'll want to talk about email lists and think about email lists a lot as we're thinking about your launch. So just wanted to bring that in there quickly. Now, let's say that I chose that 297 price as my goal number for just the number, just the price. Now I want to kind of backtrack and think, okay, what would I be willing to let this thing go for? What would I be willing to take if I were trading in for good quality feedback on my product, my offer, the actual value I deliver? If it meant that I could interview the people who learn from me, if I could get some really great insight and really shape my product, my future product around their feedback, what would I be willing to take? Let's say I'd be willing to take $197 in exchange for that quality feedback. That's my beta number. Now I can sell a limited number of seats of that beta offer, or I could sell it for a limited time, but this is a price I'm going to let it go for at the very beginning for my minimum level offer, to just get some money in the door, to just get some feedback. And then I can work my way up to that 297 number by slowly increasing the price over time as I work my way out of the beta group and start to formulate a more concrete actual product, that course or whatever learning experience that becomes. Another hot tip, and I want you to pause this training right now and go do this. Validate your idea with a waiting list. That's absolutely no risk. You don't have to sell anything, but let's just make sure you're solving the right problem. You can use this script exactly, take a screenshot, or just use this exactly. You could do this in your Instagram stories. You could do this with your email list. You could say, I'm working on something behind the scenes to help you with describe the problem. If you're interested in getting support with this, send me your name and email and I'll put you on the waiting list. See what happens. If you get some people on that waiting list, now you know who your warm audience is, maybe potentially beta users, and you know that you're on the right track. So do that right now. Okay, secret number 2 to thinking about our offer is don't create a course. What do you mean, Alyssa? I thought that this whole training was about creating a course. Remember, I mentioned earlier that courses are very 2020. Assuming everyone wants a pre-recorded course, your typical 6 module, 27 video course is a mistake. When was the last time you felt excited about purchasing 40 hours of video content, 6 modules, 98-page workbook? I bet you said, like, no way, I don't have time for that. That is not what I want to purchase. That's because for some reason there was a boom of time where people were interested in getting a lot of content. And that was the main way course creators sold, was to show how many deliverables these people were going to get. And that's just not the case anymore. So we need to rethink, restructure these online learning experiences. There are a million ways to do this. We go over a bunch of them inside Course Creators Intensive, but just a few here. Group coaching, mini courses, live workshops, challenges, toolkits, group projects, a million different ways to solve your people's problem. How can I help my people solve their problem quickly? Whatever the answer is to that is how you might begin to structure a container around your teaching. If the answer is they might best learn this with a course, fine, that's fine. But let's answer that question first. Don't just create another boring talking head over slides, videos on hours and hours on end experience if that's not the best way. How can you solve their problem fast? Now, instead of creating hours of pre-recorded content, I've brought in a guest coach, Megan Kensington, also known as the course designer, learning and development expert. We have spent the past 2 years building out technology that actually captures these better adult learning experiences online. So we've been studying adult learning theory for 2 years, and our whole goal is to help you think outside the box when it comes to virtual trainings. I would say I'm more of the launch expert, but Megan has come in and has become really our go-to learning designer. And so if you join Course Creators Intensive, which I'm going to tell you about in a little bit, you'll get to hang out with Megan where she'll teach you how to structure your content in a way that is outside the box, thinking outside the box, innovative, and will get your people excited. Okay, secret number 3 is to use solution-based marketing. So instead of telling people about all the content they're going to get, because remember, that's going to make them feel fearful and like they can't do this, instead, we're going to just talk about that clear roadmap to the solution. People do not need more stuff. They don't need to hear about more stuff. So instead of doing that, tell them about your method. Tell them what it will be like to finally have the solution to their problems, and collect a ton of testimonials and case studies from your minimum lovable offer, from that beta group that goes through that offer, and put those case studies and testimonials out there. Those are your gold. They will help you sell and talk about yourself when you don't feel like it. They're very genuine. They help people get off the fence when it comes to making a buying decision. And it's going to help them see the value, see how they can quickly arrive at a solution, see what it will be like to have that solution. So use that beta group when you go and sell your MLO to that beta group for that reduced price. Make sure you gather not only feedback and testimonials are different, right? Feedback helps you shape your learning experience, whereas testimonials help people to see the kinds of results that they can get. We want to collect both those things from our beta group so that we can use that to sell our offer in the future. Okay, mini training number 3, how to make sales before you create anything. You can make sales tomorrow if you're brave enough. The only way to truly know if you've landed on the right offer, that's price plus value, is to make a sale. The moment that money hits your bank, the idea is validated, you've got the green light to go with this thing. No coach, no business coach, no marketing guru can tell you that you've got the right price. A lot of people will ask me, Alyssa, is this the right price? Do you think I should price it at this? What do you think I should price it at? I can give you an estimate based on all of my experience or my knowledge of your market, but no one knows the right price. The market tells us the price. Your people actually buying something tells us the price. So put something out there and see what happens and change and improve from there. So to get this done, number 1, we're going to skip the sales page for now. We're going to call it a beta launch. We're going to pull up a Google Doc, pull up a Notion page, The less fancy, the better, because beta people love to feel like they're getting in on something early. Don't make it fancy. Describe your solution, describe your method, and describe the container. The container is, how am I going to help you? What's that going to look like? Is it going to be a series of Zoom calls because I'm not going to pre-record anything? When are they going to be? What time are they going to be? Am I going to have access to the replays? That's the container. Then add urgency. Maybe you have a limited number of beta seats, or you're only allowing beta people in for a certain amount of time. Make the price a no-brainer. Let them know this is the lowest price they're ever going to see this thing, in exchange for feedback and testimonials along the way. Another quick tip here, sell to your early adopters. The people you already know are going to jump and buy anything that you put out there. This could be a group of people on your email list. Maybe they've purchased from you before, they're really warm, and you maybe just want to send the beta offer to them instead of sending it to your whole email list. You're likely not ready to launch something to your whole email list, so sending it to a group of warm early adopters can be just a really nice way to ease into this and experiment without the risk. They're going to know that your beta, your minimum lovable offer, is the minimum version, but they're also probably going to get the most amount of support being a beta person. If I see a beta offer, I jump on it every time, because I know that the course creator is going to really get in the trenches with me, because they're trying to understand how to get me results quickly. And the last quick tip is teach it live. Don't pre-record anything. Hop on Zoom where you can see their reactions. You can get their questions. You can get their feedback right there on the call. Don't make a PDF workbook in Canva. Pull up a Google Doc, type some stuff in it, give them a copy of that, have them send you back the copy after they've done their work so that you can see how they interacted with the workbook, and collect all of that feedback so that you can iterate and create a really amazing product that you feel awesome about launching later. Okay, so this is the fork in the road. This is where we decide, are you ready to create that perfect offer? Are you ready to create a unique learning experience that your audience is going to rave about? Do you want to see those consistent 5-figure launches, thanks to figuring out a launch playbook that works every single time that you launch, so you can predict that 5-figure income, which is always nice in an online business to be able to predict? Are you ready to put in a little work up front to cut out the noise when it comes to course creation and launching, get this thing out there and start making money? Here are a few testimonials from people who launched a minimum lovable offer so you can see what it's like to get an idea out really quickly. This person said, I went from an idea to a clearly established pathway and course that now has 10 people enrolled. I did my first live workshop and had people log in from Hong Kong, Australia, and all over the US. That's so cool. This other creator said, I created my lead-in course and pre-sold 8 during a Black Friday sale. See that pre-sell, that's a good validation. Then increase those sales to 10 additional students for a regular price. And now the whole program opens in 10 days and I have 18 people already enrolled before they opened the doors. We've got some other testimonials here about another one with a pre-sale, another one where they sold lifetime memberships at a certain price, monthly members at a certain price, and then annual members. They even put in a high-priced $1,650 coaching high ticket offer as one of the offers on their page, and sold one when they didn't even mean to. They just put it on there as a decoy to steer them to the middle pricing package. I love it. Fast track the success. Stop guessing when it comes to launching. Work with someone who has been where you are, can hand you over the system, the resources, and the tools to get you the results you want. Stop searching on Google. Stop trying to just copy paste somebody else's launch plan or learning experience. No more launch crickets. I want you to join me inside Course Creators Intensive, where we're going to take you from learning experience idea. I keep saying course, but I really mean any learning experience. We're going to take you from idea to launching a learning experience you feel really confident about, with a price and a validated offer that you feel good about, in just 8 weeks. The whole idea here is to get this out as quickly as possible to get some validation, get some feedback, and keep you rolling. And we're going to do this using a proven structure. We're going to help you uncover your unique, uncopyable method using our launch strategies to help you get the results you're looking for. The way we're going to do this Course Creators Intensive comes with weekly audio lessons so you can listen on the go. Each audio lesson also comes with homework assignments so that you're implementing along the way. The whole thing is designed into phases so that if you listen to one audio lesson a week and implement, you will be ready to launch in 8 weeks. There are also workshops to help you through some of the parts where you're going to need to spend a little bit more time. Workshops are about an hour long and help you work through things like program promise or setting up your webinar, where you need to spend a little bit more time and you need a little bit more support to get those implemented. It also comes with a community full of people. I think there's around 200 people in the community who have gone through multiple launches, who can give you feedback before launch, during launch, which is my favorite time to troubleshoot with the community, like, oh my gosh, it's Wednesday and it's really quiet. What do I do? And after launch, where we can help you take a look at your results and create some new experiments for your next launch. As a result of going through this program, you will launch or relaunch your minimum lovable offer by week 8 and get your first flood of sales from your existing warm audience, which will just be the beginning of what we'll do because we'll relaunch this thing time and time again. So inside, you'll get all of the lessons, templates, tools, trainings, and resources to build out your offer and launch it. Each week, you'll know exactly what you need to complete, or maybe you're going to binge listen to the whole thing in the beginning. That's fine too. In the easiest, fastest way possible. I have been teaching people how to launch for over 5 years, so I have a lot of resources to help you, including helping you figure out all the technology and all of that stuff. So let's go through some frequently asked questions. In Course Creators Intensive, will you help me outline my course? Absolutely. That's our specialty. I've brought in Megan, as I mentioned, the course designer. She has a workshop, it's about an hour long, that helps you uncover your unique method, give it a name, and design a wow-worthy learning experience around that method. She also has an amazing Google Doc workbook that goes with her workshop that will help you move through your ideas and really nail down that method. A lot of people ask, what software do I need? Do I need to buy anything? We have a giant list that helps you compare all the different course platforms, from totally budget friendly to more of a splurge and everything in between. We also talk about the equipment you might want to get and any other software you might need besides the course storage software. A lot of our participants use Kajabi. That is what I use. It's kind of an all-in-one business software. So it's really great if you're first starting out, because you can do your email marketing, upload your courses, build your website, build your landing pages, everything inside Kajabi. So I'll link to that somewhere around this masterclass so that you can take a look at Kajabi ahead of Course Creators Intensive if you'd like to. Will you help me with my launch strategy? Of course, I will give you my exact launch formula that has been used with hundreds of entrepreneurs on 5 and even 6-figure launches. I'll tell you exactly step by step how to do it. And it's really simple. It's a repeatable formula. Once you dial it in, you'll be able to use it each and every time you launch and pretty much predict your results. And I'll be in the community to give you feedback on important sales assets that you're going to want feedback on, like your program promise, sales page copy, pricing and offer structure, and whatever else you need feedback on. I'm in the community. And again, all of those other entrepreneurs who have launched before are in the community. And you'll have lifetime access to all of these recordings and the community. So as you launch again and again, you will still have a chance to get some support. How many hours a week will this take? I get this question a lot. I would estimate about an hour a week to listen to that audio file and complete any related activities. But then there are some weeks where we're heavier on the implementation, like when you're creating a sales page, or you're working through your webinar strategy, or you're writing that program promise, or you're working on your method, uncovering your method. Those are sort of longer implementation weeks, so I'd leave some space for those as well. You get the weekly audio lessons, the workbook for each phase. I forgot to even add in this list the workshops, those longer workshops, one for each phase, Q&A in the Facebook group, all the curriculum, tutorials, tools, and templates you'll need, launch support in the community. There's an optional add-on when you go to the sales page for launch templates. This is a sales page template, a webinar template, and some other launch calculators. You can add that on if you're really looking for the swipe files on those to save some extra time. You get lifetime access to everything so that you can watch it whenever you need, every time you launch, and you will have a course ready to go in 8 weeks. So the price for Course Creators Intensive lifetime access is, I think, a no-brainer, especially when compared to other course creation courses out there. It is only $380, and I have a payment plan for you so that if you need to do that, you can. And to put it in perspective, my 90-minute strategy calls are $297, and my one-to-one launch support packages start at $2,000. So getting access to all of my strategies, tools, resources, help in the Facebook group for $380 is a really, really good option for those of you who are not ready for that one-to-one launch support yet. And to just make it absolutely clear that you will get a great return on investment for this purchase, how many course sales would it take to pay off the investment? Well, let's see. If your course is going to be around $200, 2 sales. I'll do the math for you. It's really easy there. Or $400, 1 sale. You'd only have to make a couple of sales to pay this off, and you have launch support today and every time you launch thereafter. I really think this offer is a no-brainer, and I hope to see you inside. Your payment options, when you go to the screen to check out, you'll be able to pay in full for $380 or split your payment, 2 payments of $190. Couple more frequently asked questions. When does the program start? You can start anytime. We provide you with the exact pacing guide to get this done in 8 weeks, including all the implementation. But if you need more time, you can go a little slower. We do recommend getting that MLO launched as quickly as possible so you can start making money. After the 8 weeks, what happens after the 8 weeks? Well, we're going to celebrate your launch when you actually launch. You're going to post in the group. You're going to tell us how it went. We'll also help you figure out what parts of the launch worked and didn't work so you can adjust it for next time. And if you want more support, you can always add that launch playbook on at any time, which again gives you the swipe files for all those launch assets you need to create. So if you're like, you know what, I've gone through the program and I don't want to write the sales page, grab that add-on and that sales page swipe file will be there for you to help you out. What would it mean to you if you could have a boost of 5 figures every single time you launched? Maybe your online business has multiple income streams and you're thinking about adding knowledge products as an income stream. This can give you a very nice boost of income that you can almost predict once you dial in these strategies. The first step is to figure out your just right offer by experimenting with that MLO. So let's make it happen together. You can go join us now, teacherhustleuniversity.com/CCI. I hope to see you inside. Thanks for listening to That Teacher Podcast. I have a lot of resources for you in the show notes. Make sure you subscribe to my Monday mixtapes and tune in here to the podcast to learn more business and marketing strategy to help grow your business to the business of your dreams so that you can have the financial wiggle room you've been hoping for. Looking forward to supporting you in your journey.